Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the Oxnard City Council. My name is Carl Lawson. I am the Compliance Manager for the city's Housing Department. And I come before you tonight with one of two hearings known as Tephra hearings. Tephra stands for the Tax Equity Fiscal Responsibility Act, a federal law which governs procedures that must be followed when a state issues tax-exempt bonds for housing development. Tonight's Tephra hearing involves the developer, Community Development Partners, applying with the state for issuance of $32 million of tax-exempt multifamily housing revenue bonds, with those bonds to be issued by the California Statewide Community Development Authority, not by the city. The purpose of that bond issuance is for the developer to finance the acquisition, rehabilitation, and development of a project at 241 West 2nd Street, known as the Homeless Solutions Center. City Council is very familiar with the intended project slated for that site. Whenever a developer seeks bonds to be issued by a statewide authority such as the CSCDA, the local government where that project will be built is required to conduct a public hearing to allow the community to provide input on the issuance of the bonds. Again, the bonds are issued by the CSCDA, not by local government, but the city council as the local jurisdiction, as the representative of the jurisdiction where the project will be located, is required to conduct that public hearing. A little bit about the project. It's intended, when complete, to provide 55 units of permanent supportive housing and 110 shelter beds for low-income and extremely low-income persons. The lot currently, as you know, does not have any housing units on it, so there will be no displacement of any residents. There is a vacant building there which will be demolished, and the site will be refurbished. Again, this is not a project of the city of Oxnard or the Oxnard Housing Authority, and the bonds are not being issued by the city or by the housing authority. They're being issued by the state. The city incurs no financial obligation or any liability arising from the state issuance of the bonds. And the sole obligation of the city relative to the bond issuance is to host this Tephra hearing in order to provide and receive public comment. You have before you a rendering of the project, what is intended to look like upon completion, the Homeless Solution Centers. And there's a representative of Community Development Partners available to answer any questions you may have tonight. I do stress, however, that tonight's proceeding and tonight's recommended action does not constitute approval of the design or of the project or of anything else. It is simply complying with the federal regulation, which obligates the local city council to hold a public hearing on the issuance by the state of the bonds. Hence, the two recommendations set forth in your staff report. The first one is to conduct this hearing, receive public comment, and the second is to adopt a resolution approving the issuance of the bonds by the state. Staff is available to answer any questions that the council may have, and a representative of Community Development Partners is also available to answer any questions. And we thank you very much.